What's up, guys? John here. Titan Talk Tuesday. Excited. Happy to be here. Blessing every day, man. We wake up. So I'm just, real humbled by just that, alone. And then getting to be here with you guys on Tuesday after a long day here at Titan Medical Center, helping people all day. That's a beautiful thing. We get to talk about some different things. Hopefully talk about some therapies and different things that are going on in the world, man. So thank you guys for all tuning in. What's going on? Big shout outs to everybody tuning in. Thank you, Alan, Berserker Barbell, Filma Patriot, Zemedez, Blessed, E. Demilson, Mark Marley. What's up, dude? What's going on, man? Big Irishman, Dwayne Day. What's going on? Paul T. Alex, Keep the Titan. What's going on? All right, I am Fralin. All right, Big Irishman. What's going on, brother? Vlad Crackter, all these different people. My man, Big Drew is in the house. My dude, man. Big ups to that guy. It's like my brother, for sure. Smile, Chloe, what's going on? If you guys want to see me and Big Drew, it's Titan Lifestyle Fridays, 2 p.m. Gotta get that in there. Victor, what's going on? So, got a great show for you guys. Didn't want to get as big as you. So, no problem. You can definitely do that. Listen, it's all about eating correctly, training, sleep, because that's a vital part of recovery, and just doing it over and over and over, being very consistent about what you're doing. Those are the big steps. Take your genetics as far as you possibly can, and then making sure that everything is optimal on the inside and getting some different things that'll benefit you to help on the outside, right? So what's going on? BB World, Gabriel, Hulk Squad, my dude, man. Hope that leg is feeling better, man. Sizzles, M. Lowry, S. Big Jack 75. So got a great show talking about some different things. Obviously, we're going to talk about the therapy of the week, glutathione. Gabriel, all the way from Los Angeles. What's up, brother? I hope everything is going a little bit better out there, hopefully soon. I got a lot of people in California. We got patients all over the country. And, some of these places are opening back up, so it's a great thing. Or capacities or different restrictions are getting taken away. Hopefully, we're on the right track to get everybody back to 100% of what we were. Even if we got to wear masks or do whatever the heck they want us to do, at least we'll be back to some sort of normalcy and getting back. So thank God for that, right? Because, we don't think about it sometimes because we live here in Florida. We're kind of spoiled this whole time. And I've talked to people, and it's like a rude awakening, because you get to really think about what they're going through. It's sad in a lot of cases. But glad everything's getting on. Still got my set in, though. Big Irishman beans. All right, so injectable glutathione. All right, my BPC 157 intake is what's up. All right. Yeah, he's trying to get that thing healed, Drew. So let's talk about it. Althea, what's going on? All right, glutathione. So it's a therapy of the week. All right, it's an important one for me. It's something that I think a lot more people need to be educated about. There can be a lot more uses and a lot more benefits being partaken by patients out there and some of the different things they might be going through. So let's just break it down what it is. So glutathione is a super antioxidant. It's produced in the liver naturally, okay? But what happens is our glutathione levels can go in deficiency, and then go in deficiency from a number of different things out there. So let's talk about some of those. So we're talking about our environment, all the toxins that are in our air. I mean, we think that our air is clean because we don't see smog, or you might, just depending on where you're at, because California, I know there's some smoggy areas, but we don't see these different toxins in the area. They're invisible to us, but we're breathing them in, we're taking them in. That's one thing that's damaging to our bodies and does a lot of disruption, not just with toxins, but disruption of hormones in our body too, and that's a whole different subject. But these different toxins we take in, these chemicals we're taking in, rubbing on our skin or applying, even deodorant. I'm not going to go a day without deodorant. And I know there's some natural ones out there, but they just don't work as good to me, or they don't smell as good. So that's one thing that we apply to our body that has a lot of these different chemicals. And if you look at the back, you'll see the different ingredients and a lot of these different things that you wouldn't even think about, right? And it's crazy. But that's one thing that can definitely affect the body. Another thing is the way our diet is, or lifestyle. So if you're eating a lot of fried foods or bad foods, or you're smoking a lot, that's another thing that can do it. A lot of alcohol use is another thing. Getting sick, illness, COVID, right? Or other things. Let's not even mention COVID, because that's the bad word. But if you're getting sick, right? illness can take down the glutathione levels in your body too. And what that can do is lower immune function. It can slow down metabolism in some ways because your body's not working like it should, especially in the liver, because that's the majority of a lot of problems with people. And that's a great benefit glutathione can be used for. So fatty livers, if you're taking a lot of acetaminophen or alcohol, there's a lot of things, or supplementation. So everything that we take in our body, take in pill-wise, everything gets taken in. It has a process, not just, in the stomach area, but, the liver. It processes through the liver. It's like our filter for the body. This can cause stress on the liver too as well. So that's another thing glutathione can work tremendously for. And we've seen it with so many patients over the years, over the 9 years, that it's worked for. A lot of our patients here might have used it, and it will bring down liver functions, liver enzymes, specifically ALT and AST, tremendously. And at a decent dose too, 200 milligrams a day. We put on a certain protocol of days, and usually we retest for those liver enzymes, and they usually come right down. It's great for liver support if you know you're going to be doing stuff that could be damaging to the livers or put stress in the liver or the body as far as stress-wise. Glutathione's another great one because it gets rid of free radicals in the body. It attacks these free radicals. If we don't want free radicals in our body, they can do damage in a number of different ways. So this is one big thing, right? And let's talk about the immune system. So we want to fortify our immune system. And if we have all these things going against our body, usually our immune function is lowered. So one other thing to really pop up to your immune system or fortify that immune system is glutathione. It's another great one. And it's, like I said, it's really used for a number of different things. And it's been used, and glutathione deficiencies happen. And then after that, it's like a domino effect with other illnesses or problems. And that's really important to keep your glutathione levels up. Now, you can even blood test for glutathione levels. It's not something unheard of at all. We can actually test for it. So we can test, see where your glutathione levels are at. And if those are low, you obviously want to raise them. If you want to be preventative, okay, that's another big thing about glutathione. You can be preventative. Obviously, we're in a pandemic right now, and people are still really worried about getting sick. And some people need to be. We'll talk about that in one of our other topics maybe that I have to talk about today, about obese people being at the highest rate of hospitalization and deaths because of COVID, and the correlation, because there was a huge study just done on it and published. So we'll talk about that, but that's another thing for glutathione, to be preventative, especially if you're going around a lot of people. Hey, listen, don't worry just about COVID. Worry about sinus infections, the flu, other viral infections, the cold per se. This is something that can help you out through these times. Even if you get sick, hopefully lower the time that you are sick. So glutathione, I cannot talk enough about. It's one that is an essential for me, and I think it should be essential for a lot of other people. Now, you can get glutathione straight with us in a 30 ml vial, so that's 30 injections. Or you can get an nectar of the gods. That's along with other things like arginine and lysine and NAC, which is another great one for the liver, proline, taurine, L-carnitine. There's a great combination in there with glutathione. It's just a little bit lower as far as milligram-wise to the concentrated only glutathione shot that you can get. We also have it in our Triimmune. So our Triimmune is a great one too. It really has a triple threat about it. So what I mean by that, it has glutathione at 200 milligrams. It has vitamin C at 200 milligrams. It has zinc at 5 milligrams. So it's a great dose you can take in, and it really covering a lot of different bases. And some of these different things that, you hear about, they were giving possible COVID patients or people that were trying to recover, or natural, just, like general doctors giving their patients this. If they caught COVID and it wasn't that bad, for them to hopefully recover faster and get over it. But like I said, let's just not even talk about COVID. Let's talk about, regular, flu or cold that you might come across, or even sinus infections. They're a lot lower now, I feel like, because everybody is wearing masks to a certain degree, but I know a lot of people that it does cause issues, that mask and wearing it all day. So it's another one. All right, so let's get to some questions here. Icebox, what's going on? Jag, JZ, Mar, Mike, MB, Clement, Cody, Irwin, what up? Caesar, Carlos, Big J the Barber. That's my dude, man. Always keeping me faded, looking good for all the events or for you guys here. 1VCV, what's going on? Woke of Sports. What's up? Punisher, my man, was down here living up on jet skis. Now he's back in Pennsylvania, freezing, hating it. I'm sorry. I wish you were down here earlier. My man, Pat Russo. Elizabeth Fitness, what's going on? Mark, how you doing, brother? All right, the total package. Johnny Mac. So many people. Thank you guys for joining me. I appreciate you guys. If you guys have any questions about any of our therapies, from hormone replacement therapy, medical weight loss, our vitamin amino acid injectable therapies, rejuvenation detox, like we were talking about with glutathione, because it is a detoxifier too. That's another big one that I think people don't really recognize it for. And people do these different detoxes, and maybe you have too. I talked to some of my friends like, yeah, man, I'm doing a detox. Probably won't leave the bathroom for like a week. I'm like, what, man? I'm like, what are you talking about? What are you talking about? What are you going to be doing here, right? And they tell me like, yeah, like I'm going to make this concoction, this drink, or they have this, company they bought it from, and they drink these things, and then it makes them go to the bathroom for like all week and like all day. I'm like, oh my God. I'm like, well, that probably isn't too good for you because, yeah, you might be getting rid of some of the toxins in your body, but you're probably dehydrating yourself too, losing a lot of fluids like that if you're really going all day and like for a whole week like that. That's something maybe I wouldn't want to do. And I'm too busy to be in the bathroom all day and for a whole week anyway. So at that point, like, we want something that will detoxify our body, and that's another thing with this. Along with free radicals or oxidation, think of a car that rusts, that oxidation, that's what oxidation is. An antioxidant is something that reverses that. So that's another thing for glutathione. Just trying to get it out there so you guys can think about it that way.
Got a couple on Facebook for you.
All right, what do we got here? Facebook, my guys. What up, Craig? My man, loving the glutathione. Big shout out. All right, I got my blood work done. What's the next step, Fred Pierce? So if you got your blood work done, what's going to happen is usually it takes about 3 to 4 business days for us to get the results. When we get the results for the blood work, the medical assistant is going to call you. It's probably going to be Michelle. And at that point, what she's going to do is just brief you, say, hey, listen, we got the results back. We got some different things going on here. When can we schedule you for a medical consultation? And we can either set you up for that, or if you're just trying to see where you're at, you can just get your results. That's not a problem. But a lot of people, they want to go through the medical provider. They'll go through the results with you. And then if you want treatment, obviously, we're going to help you out there and go over all these different things with you as far as therapies, or if you have any questions, concerns, or you want to know something about a specific therapy, they're going to be able to answer those questions and prescribe a personalized regimen for you to make sure you're getting back on track, making sure the optimization of hormones, if that's what it is, or just trying to get you healthy or make sure the liver is good or whatever it is. So that's the next step. The medical assistant, Michelle, probably is going to call you. It might be Michelle, it might be one of the other staff members, but it's usually her handling the lab department. So at that point, she's going to give you a call, brief you a little bit, get you scheduled for your medical consultation, and at that point, you're going to be with them virtually if you're not here, and you're going to be on your road to success with Titan Medical Center. All right.
We got one up here.
What other we got? Right. What do we got here? All right. Why you put aspirin in your product? All right. So Wild Fitness asked, why do you put aspirin in your product? So the only product that we put aspirin in is our ECA Stack Plus. Now, ECA, ephedrine, caffeine, aspirin, that combination has been around for a long time. Been used in a lot of different ways, especially in the fitness world, right? But real ephedrine is banned, okay? But the real reason we put aspirin in there is because it's to thin the blood a little bit. It's to make sure the blood is a little bit thin. It shouldn't cause any heart palpitations as far as that when you take the ECA. It's nice and smooth. And it's not a lot of aspirin, so it's 30 milligrams instead of 81, which is a baby aspirin. Now, if you're allergic to aspirin, because there are a lot of people out there allergic to aspirin. We've got a lot of patients that are allergic to aspirin. We can make it without the aspirin. So it can be an ephedrine, caffeine, and then we add on, for the plus, B12 and chromium to help boost the metabolism naturally, help for aiding weight loss. So at that point, you don't have to get it with aspirin. It just does help with blood flow as far as thinning it out a little bit. Really no big effect, and it's not a huge dose. Like I said, it's 30 milligrams. And a baby aspirin, which a lot of doctors want people to take daily anyway, is 81 milligrams. So there's a big difference in there as far as milligram-wise, as you can see, or as you know. All right, glutathione had me up and running after 2 days of having the Rona. Only thing I had was loss of taste and smell, and that only lasted 3 days. So it did help him through coronavirus, or maybe he just has a strong immune system, because I'm not going to say that it does. No, that's not a good thing, and I'm not going to get caught up in that scandal. I need BPC 157 in a 5-gallon bucket. I hear you, man. I told you I've been running like high doses of BPC 157 to try to heal this slap tear I got in my right shoulder. Knock on wood, I have a lot of good days, better than negative days, I should say, in my shoulder. So hopefully it's working. I'm going to get another MRI to confirm here in about a month or two. I want to give it a good go at it. And I'm training, so I'm training pretty good as far as weight-wise. I haven't went down a weight, like really minimal. I did start out at minimal weight, but I'm back, like, even flat bench. I'm flat benching like 90-pound dumbbells. I'll get up to 100 hopefully next week. And with, it's got a little pain, but it's not where I'm causing more pain. And that you guys know, if you lift a lot and you had injuries, like it causes pain more to like go back or whatever it is. And you're really not causing more pain, right? Or it's not inflicting like gut-wrenching, like sharp pains, then you should be good to go. Hopefully, won't be doing more damage. Just make sure, you're not going egotistically heavy with the weight. All right, what else we got here?
We go right here on screen.
That's legit. Why do you put aspirin? Hope you got what we got. Doc told me 6 weeks recovery, but he doesn't know about BPC. So we'll see how much better recovery will be. So that's true. So, right? So general practitioners, a lot of these surgeons out there, stuff like that, they don't really know about BPC 157. So they don't really know the great benefits of it or what it's helped do to a lot of different patients or a lot of different people. And that's not just us. I'm talking about around the world. And at that point, I want to see if you can get healed faster than that, and then what he says about it, Hulk Squad, because that would be really great. I mean, that's really putting it to the test, right? He says it's going to be this long. Let me, run this BPC 157 course, hopefully heal faster. But I know, you always know the worst if he's telling you that. 5 weeks, right? That's probably the worst. And obviously anything before that is a cherry on top. It's a lot quicker, it's a lot better. You can get back to training and feeling better. So hopefully you get by this injury a lot quicker with it. All right. Hope you're having a great week. You too, Icebox. I hope you're having a great week too. Titan Talk Tuesday is always a great day for me. All right. You just ordered some. Okay. Hercules Poke. You are going to love it. You are definitely going to love the Hercules Potion. I want to hear your thoughts about it after you do take it. Let me know. And then if it's good or bad, let me know. I want to know. But I'm telling you, I would say majority of people, it's a game changer. So even for me, anybody I introduce it to, I mean, it's like, man, where was this stuff all my life? And that's how I was. So hopefully it works wonders for you too. All right, you're awesome, bro. How necessary is HCG? Major benefits and should be one and off or take it consistently. All right, so Blessed N305. So he said, how necessary is HCG? So I'm assuming, I don't like to assume, so if I'm wrong, please correct me. But he's asking about HCG, and being on HCG, I would imagine, with hormone replacement therapy or TRT, right? Testosterone. So it is necessary. Let me tell you why. It's necessary because you could get negative side effects, and you will. It's just a matter of time. The negative side effects I'm talking about. So you're going to get shrinkage of the testicles. Now you might say, like, I don't care about shrinkage. Well, your testicles are actually shrinking, okay? So they're going through atrophy, which can lower semen production. Now, tightness of the testicles after an amount of time doesn't feel good. I'm telling you, it doesn't feel comfortable. Yeah, you guys know, okay? If you have testicles, you know how that could feel. Maybe in a tight pair of underwear or, in an uncomfortable position. Think about that all day. The next thing is it lowers semen production. So you're not going to have the volume of semen that you would previous. And at that point, it's going to lower. Now, if you have with partners, you're having intercourse, at that point, they might ask what's going on, and they might think these different things or assume things they shouldn't be assuming. And that's just one of the negative side effects to it. The other thing is this. So you're actually shutting down production of your testes when you take testosterone, okay? It suppresses everything. There's a signal that goes from your brain down to your testicles, and at that point when it recognizes that there's an incoming source from somewhere else of testosterone in the body, it says, hey, listen, we don't need you to work, and that level gets shut down. That's suppression. Now, when you introduce HCG, it mimics that signal from the brain to the testes, and they keep running and rejuvenating. So at that point, semen production doesn't lower, shrinkage doesn't lower, so aesthetics is everything, the way it looks, and the way it's functioning as far as production of semen. And, testosterone is still getting produced a little bit. Natural levels aren't getting shut down completely because there's a signal that's getting mimicked, so it's not shutting down. So those are the benefits of HCG. And the negatives, I tried to cover both in that little thing I was covering with you guys about HCG. But those are different side effects as far as negative, and then the benefits outweigh it for sure, especially sexually wise, libido effect and stuff. That's another big benefit for HCG. So for me and for our clinic, I know it is a necessary thing. The reason is because we don't want patients to get any negative side effects. The whole point that being on testosterone or hormone replacement therapy is to get all the benefits without any negative side effects. I mean, if you really want to turn things up, you're trying to. Some people are like, I'm just going to take testosterone. Well, okay, well, it's going to convert in other hormones, or do you? Because that's the thing. They think, I'm just going to take testosterone because it's low. I'm going to jump it back up. That's what a lot of general practitioners do. Like, we're not going to worry about any of the other hormones. Why? Well, we should worry about conversion, because conversion is going to cause other hormones to fluctuate. And at that point, it could cause other negative side effects, like gynecomastia. That's another one without an estrogen blocker, or leaving estradiol levels unchecked. So you want to make sure that everything's balanced. And that's just something that's going to cover some negative side effects that could happen to your testicles. And that actually is one of the topics, if I get to it today, is talking about that. It's really crazy how today's working out. All right, Keep the Titan said, Icebox, you won't be disappointed with the Hercules potion. Mass Monster, what's going on? Jaylene, why would you put aspirin in your products? Guyver, I already covered this. All right, Hansel Herrera, what's going on? Alex, IFBB Pro. My dude is an MI40. He's getting down. He's training hard for his debut. So I'm excited for him. I met him in there. He always trains hard every time I see him. So big ups. I appreciate you tuning in too. IFBB Pro. Anita, what's going on? How you doing? All right, Hawk Squad, 6 weeks recovery, but he doesn't know about BBC, right? So we covered that. John, let's talk about caffeine crash when ECA stacks. Oh, wait, there ain't no crash. So that's a good thing. ECA Stack Plus creates really natural energy, and you don't get that crash afterwards like a lot of products you do. That was one big benefit for me, like literally. And, I've gone like these last couple of weeks where I even took an ECA for like 3 or 4 days just to see, hey, listen, am I going to get any sort of crash for the day? And I haven't. So that's a beautiful thing. And then when I take it, it's like, psh. So it works consistently day in and day out. As long as you don't abuse things like that, they will work very well. All right. Being a cheap Paulman, what's going on? All right. Kelly Bosch. MetaHuman. I like that. Optimized Life. What's going on? Beth, Glenn, we love it. Joey Fergato. Just got my shipment today. BB World. I'm excited for you. Dwayne Day, do you guys have CJC peptide? Of course. So, Dwayne, we do have CJC 1295 with Imperolin, so it's another peptide that we combine both in the same vial as far as that goes for the medications. You get both, and you get a lot of different benefits with both of them. And combining them, they work synergistically together to create even more effect and get better results. So, yes, we do have that peptide and some more peptides too as well. All right, guys, let's talk about one of the topics today because it falls right in line. And I got my timer on, so I got 31 more minutes with you guys. I have an hour limit. Instagram limits me to that because they shut me down afterwards. Automatic, like, hour, that's it. Okay, so the first one, anabolic steroids used for bodybuilding equal long-term testicular damage and more. So I always go through the main headlines, and all the news, and I cover all the different publications. So I'm not just one-sided. I look at Fox, I look at CNN, I look at all these different independents or whatever it is. If they're in very intriguing titles or really, really good articles, I think that, that go right along with what we talk about here at Titan, on Titan Talk, I really want to bring them up because, hey, listen, there might be some vital or good information in there, or it might be some crap, and listen, we should talk about it, and we should just learn maybe from some of the different things. So this one was on a study, okay? And the study was done I can't remember the exact number. It was a couple hundred patients. And the ages were from, I believe, like 20 to like 55. Okay. And basically what it talked about was using 132 patients between 18 and 50. Thank you. Who did recreational strength training too as well. And the men fell into three groups: never users, current users, or former users of anabolic steroids who quit nearly 3 years earlier. All right. So testosterone does fluctuate ranges through the day. Now, in the morning, usually your testosterone is usually highest, and it starts bumping down, bumping down, bumping down, bumping down. So if you take your testosterone at 7 o'clock in the morning, it should be higher than when you take it at 3 o'clock in the afternoon. And that's why some people that do have low testosterone or bottom of the barrel levels, when they wake up in the morning, they're like, oh, I'm okay. And they get through their job and they do their responsibilities and stuff like that. And then when they get home, they want to crash, or they can just pass out, or they're really tired or lethargic. And cognitive function might not be there. Metabolism slowing down. They get flabbier, losing lean body mass. There's different things that go along with low T. So what this study shows was basically that if you did anabolic steroids, and let's talk about anabolic steroids too, because I think it really does get a black eye and a stereotype. When you talk about anabolic steroids, people think about, let's talk about juice heads or just really big dudes or jack girls or jack guys, and they're in the gym all the time or whatever it is. But anabolic steroids, testosterone specifically, we have these hormones in our body. So yes, they're anabolic steroids, okay, but they're androgen. So at that point, we're going to have these things in our body anyway. So why are we looking at them in a negative way, especially if we need them and we're getting lower deficient in these different things? If our body was lower deficient in anything vital, a doctor would want to give us that medication or that supplement immediately. And talk about iron. That's another, if you're low in iron, they want to give you iron shots. But, at this point, we want to make sure our levels are good. So this basically, the study was covering people that abused or used anabolic steroids. And like I said, at this point, it affected the testicular function. We talk about this all the time. So if you take testosterone, okay, and you don't need testosterone, so if you blood test your testosterone levels and they're optimal or they're high levels, we wouldn't recommend you take testosterone. I wouldn't recommend you take testosterone. I just don't think it's good. And the reason why, it's because it suppresses levels. It suppresses your natural function, and testosterone comes from your testicles. Like we were talking about that signal from the brain to the testicles. When that signal is shut down, your testicles are going through atrophy and getting suppressed. So at that point, the function's getting suppressed. They're not working. They're not producing what they're supposed to. And these people are taking anabolic steroids. So if you're taking anabolic steroids like testosterone, the only way I would recommend, or we would recommend here, is if you were low or bottom of the barrel or deficient. Because if you have good levels, you're running the risk of not ever bringing your levels back to where they were, or even getting back to half to where they were. It's not a guarantee. Now, in the bodybuilding world, I've been around a lot of guys, and I obviously came up through this before the medical center and everything. And, before really learning the proper way to use testosterone and to make sure you're doing hormone replacement therapy properly. The thing about it was, hey, listen, take testosterone. When you get off testosterone, you're coming at the end of your cycle. You need PCT, post-cycle therapy. You take, the big one was Novaldex and HCG or Clomid. And at that point, they try to bring back their levels. And then these guys were getting it, or, people get it from sources that are not secure, or maybe not be the best sources, underground sources or gray market areas. They're not getting from real pharmacies. So you really don't know what you're getting anyway. So at that point, is it really going to raise back the levels? I mean, you can blood test and see if FSH, follicle stimulating hormones, coming back online, luteinizing hormones coming back online. Are your testosterone levels rebounding correctly of where they need to be? Is estrogen suppressed the way it needs to be, or balanced how it should be? These are different things you have to look at. And with this, is basically saying the longer that you're on anabolic steroids or testosterone, the harder it is for your body to come back to homeostasis, for your your pituitary and everything to kick back online, your testes to come back online, so you can produce testosterone for your body, because it's a necessity, because you're going to feel like crap. You're going to feel lethargic. Sex drive's going to go on the toilet. It can cause aging, anxiety, depression, so many negative benefits with low testosterone. And then what happens is people go off it and they're not doing a post-cycle therapy. They crash their levels. It's even worse. So, and if they don't have the right medications, they're not doing anything for their body and they're crashing their levels. It's just not a good thing. So the study was obviously talking about anabolic steroids in a negative light, and why they shouldn't be used and stuff like that. Now, I really do think if you need them, it's a game changer, quality of life. If it was a young guy like 22 years old, 23 years old, or even a 30-year-old, and his levels were, let's say, at 900, dude, don't do testosterone. I tell younger guys all the time, like, listen, like, man, I want to get big. I'll do whatever I got to do. I'm willing to put in the work. I'm like, listen, man, put in the work, man. Get everything dialed in. But, you're growing still, even through your 20s, to a certain extent. At that point, you want to make sure you're capping out at your genetic plateau. Right? And your genetics might suck, but do the best you can with what you have until that point where you really need to use testosterone or any anabolics, man. It's just not worth it, especially for younger guys or even guys in their 30s. Like, once you do hormone replacement therapy, or once you do start testosterone, let's say it's not through a clinic and you're going to do it by yourself, you're running the risk of not ever getting back to where you were at in your testosterone levels. Now, if they suck, hey, listen, you need to replace it and get them back to optimal levels. I understand that. But if they don't suck, don't play with it. Don't try to fix something that's not broke. I mean, there's other areas I'm sure that you can work on that will get you, the results that you're looking for. We were talking about this other day. I was talking about it with Big Drew, and we were talking about, high testosterone levels. Like, you have receptors, there's only so much testosterone that's going to take these receptors, like, and what your body's going to really be able to do, like, without overdoing it. I mean, it's quality over quantity. It really is. And Drew was just surprised, He was like, I can't believe, this is the way everything is at this level. I'm like, it just is, It's great. It's really great. All right. 50-year-old male, 210 pounds. I live moderate 5 days a week. I just received my ACG for weight loss. What's a good calorie intake for weight loss? For loss of weight? Good question. So cartoons, Lord James. So he just got his ACG. He's 210 pounds, 50-year-old male. All right, so calorie intake, ACG. So the original ACG weight loss diet, a doctor was really originally did it with 500 calories. That's a really, really minimal amount of calories, and I wouldn't suggest it. I don't think it's good. Now, anybody that goes in a calorie deficit is probably going to lose weight. Okay, but the good thing about ACG is ACG is really going to help pull just from the area of the belly and that fat, and start getting that fat mobilized so you can get it out or burn. All right. So at that point, what you want to do is usually the normal calorie intake rate for the average American is, I think, 2,000 calories. So what I tell patients is, or what I did, because I ran the HCG diet a couple of years ago, because I didn't really believe in it. All right, we did it for a while, and that's for people that wanted it, but I really couldn't get behind it. I wouldn't get on here and tell you like it was really good. If I didn't utilize it, it didn't work for me. And I got to utilize it because I was down from a surgery and stuff like that. And at that point, I couldn't train for like 3 to 4 weeks, and I utilized it, and man, it was awesome. It was really awesome. So with that, 1,000 calories is usually what I was at. So if you can stay around 1,000 calories, maybe 1,100 calories, you're going to go in a calorie deficit, and it should help you tremendously in losing that weight. So please let me know how it goes, or keep me up to date, please, weekly if you want. If you need any help with it too, we're here for you. So just call or text us, all right? Topic's going to be good. Type Medical, do you all have therapies to gain muscle outside of TRT? Yes. So Mark Marley. So a big one that we always talk about is MK677, ibutamoren, and real MK677 from a pharmacy, tested, all that. So that's a really good one. The reason is because it does stimulate the hunger hormones, so you're going to eat more, and it does increase strength and recovery and stuff like that, raising IGF-1 levels. So that's a really, really big one. And people usually, they come at me and they say, listen, outside of hormones like testosterone, what's a good one that is really going to help me gain mass. Okay, not cut up, but gain mass. And I tell them MK677. But I also put the caveat: make sure you're eating clean or have clean food around. Next thing is make sure you're drinking a lot of water to make sure you're not putting on water weight. You don't want to do that. You want to look good. Whole point is not to look bloated, not to look like, you don't want to look like that. You don't want to look soft and stuff like that all the time. It's not a good look. Whole point to us is make you look healthy, being lean. But this will help you put on good mass. And John Price, who's on here, they have on here, he was a big one. He's gained strength, mass, just everything. It's been really impressive to see him do it. Drew, another big one. A lot of patients do this one, so that's a good one, okay? Chew that. 200 milligrams, 6 minutes a week with proper doctor-prescribed HRT protocol. Safest way. Absolutely. All right, I'm about to go get that before I head to Florida to fluff up, but that, MK for sure. Is it comparable to NPP? So, little bit different, okay, as far as what it does. I think it's way better than NPP, for sure, 100%. So it's going to help a lot better, I think, than NPP. It's so comparable-wise, I don't think they're in the same league. Two different ball games. All right, about to tell you about MK. So MK is really, really good. MK677, lean body mass, like I said, it will increase the hunger. That's one thing it will do. So watch out. And if you want to get away from the hunger spikes with really wanting to eat down the house after you take it at night before bed, right before bedtime. That way you sleep, you're getting the benefits in your system, and you're not getting that crazy hunger. Because I'm telling you, when you take it, I don't care if you ate a whole buffet, 15 to 30 minutes afterwards, you're going to want to eat another one. I don't care what it is, all around, you're going to gobble, 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 and eat it all down. So don't get stuck in that. Or if you need to, have that clean food ready and go to town. All right, so the next one, severe obesity linked to high risk of COVID hospitalization and death. So we're talking about obesity on here. It's just crazy. Like some of these topics really, really lined up. So they've got the studies now on this, and this was a huge study through 200 hospitals and a ton of patients. And basically what happened was they were finding that an obese BMI or higher, so obese BMI would be 30 or above on the BMI. So that's body mass index, if you guys don't know what it is. And at that point, if you were 30, you had about a 20% chance more of catching COVID for hospitalization and for death. And when it started going higher, it just got higher and higher as far as the percentage. And some of these people that were coming in at 45 on the BMI, so that's really, really high. That's like extreme obesity. And there's a lot of patients that do it. Corresponded with 33% more likely to be hospitalized and 61% more likely to die. That is crazy, guys. So we know that the more obese you are, more overweight, the more high risk you are for having hospitalization with COVID or possibly dying and making it terminal. And this is crazy because half our population almost is obese or overweight. So that's a lot of people, man. That is a lot of people. Think about it. And the way that I think about it is this. When you're outside and, like, let's say when you go to a populated area, even if you go to a gym, right? And I'm not knocking anybody at the gym. And if you're overweight, listen, kick ass, take names, lose that weight, get healthy. But when you go out in public, you really do see, you see the percentage, the numbers out there. Is it 4 out of 10 people that are obese or overweight? And if I'm in a room, how many people are in that room? Maybe 20 people. So at that point, I'm looking at 8 people that are overweight and obese, and it's probably higher. But, it sucks because it's a lot of people, and it's a health issue. My biggest thing is when I see kids. So my son plays baseball, basketball, football, and all that. So, I look at these different sports and I see these different kids out there, and, there's just a lot more people. Like, I remember when I was in school, and, there wasn't that many obese or overweight kids. There was maybe 1 or 2 in your whole class. And now it's become, half and half, or maybe just a little bit underneath. So this is crazy. So at that point, this should definitely put in your head, if you are overweight, if you are obese, make the changes. If you're not overweight and you aren't obese, be consistent, be active, be preventative about this. Do something about it. I think this has woken up a lot of people. This is our woke, Our woke thing is that people are waking up and knowing that now their health is really, really important. Their physical shape is very, very important. And I see a lot of people out there like, don't shame fat people. Well, I see people shaming bodybuilders or fitness people, like they look like a freak, or the fitness people. I don't want to look like that. Like, listen, just be healthy. I'm not talking to you looking freakish or in bodybuilding era, and I'm not talking about you being super obese and thinking that's cool too, because it's just not. It might not be healthy either way. And even with this study, it even showed that people that were underneath their average BMI of what they should be at had problems with COVID. So if you're not in that healthy range, then it really does put you at risk for more illness, and that could it could be caused by a lot of different things. But we know that obesity leads to different things like diabetes, and diabetes on the rise. I mean, that's a huge one. Cardiovascular problems, just a lot of issues that go along with this. So please, guys, make sure if you guys got friends, you guys got family, don't be mean to them, but try to motivate them. Motivate them, to be better. Help them, educate them. Some of these people, they want to change and they just don't know how to do it, or their confidence is lower. They just feel like they feel stupid about it. They feel like they can never do it. They can do it. Get behind them. Help them. It's something that's it's worth more than money, man. I mean, really, really being able to help people like that. That is, it's priceless, man. It's priceless, and just see the results, see their quality of life improve. I'm telling you guys, you can't buy that. It's just awesome. It's an awesome feeling. All right, so how much do you consider microbial health a part of obesity? So I really do. I think it's important. I think it really is important. Obviously, I think that. If we're not being able to digest properly, that's another different thing. I think nutrition factor is a big thing. And I think that if people's nutrition got better, I think that all the other things would turn around, or to a degree, a majority of things would turn around like that. So, like gut health specifically, and at that point, I think it's a big thing. Strength of your mind is just important. So I really do think that that's a great point too. Ching Seattle said, strengthening your mind is just as important as your body, I would assume. And I don't like to assume, so I'm going to confirm with you. Hopefully that's what it was. But yeah, and a strong body is a strong mind, right? So our body and our mind are connected. So strengthening your mind is just as important. Reading, okay, educating yourself daily. Don't be egotistical and think I know everything. I don't think that. My son, he tells me like I'll be telling him something. I know. Like, no, you don't know. Why did you just say that you know when you don't know? There's nothing wrong with not knowing. Like, educate yourself and be proud of that. That's fine. Like, to ask a question or to not know something isn't wrong. Maybe to, get told a million times what something is and still not know, that might be a problem. But at that point, listen, educate yourselves daily. I don't care if it's learning a new word every day. That's a big one. I read medical research daily. What's going on, new therapies, different things being tried out, different diseases. These things. There's things that you guys should want to read that you're hyped up to do, like you're excited to learn about. I hope, and just read it and increase your knowledge. Knowledge is power. What about certain enhanced muscle drugs that can have an effect on the body if you have asthma or heart problems in the past? How can they improve? What about certain enhanced muscle drugs that can have an effect on the body if you have asthma or heart problems in the past? How can they improve? So, how can they improve for competition? Okay. All right, so if you have asthma or heart problems, all right, so if you have asthma, are you taking an inhaler? Because most people that have asthma, or some, take an inhaler. So I don't know if that is. And then, like, what kind of medication are you taking? Because some of the asthma medication could mess as far as giving heart palpitations, right? So I guess that's a really crazy question as far as that goes. What about certain? And I don't know what muscle drug you're talking about. And how are you trying to improve your competition? This is another one. And as far as that goes, I mean, Hercules Potion. I mean, I don't know if ECAs, if you have heart problems, that's not going to work. But like AOD 9604, that one would be a good one, without using any stimulants, as far as creating heart issues, asthma issues. Now, asthma, it should, usually when you're taking like ephedrine and stuff like that, it opens up bronchioles. So at that point, you're able to breathe better. So I don't know if that would have an effect, but it definitely, if you're having heart issues or heart problems, definitely no ECA Stock Plus for you. We don't want you to drop dead or have heart issues or problems in the future.
10-minute warning.
10-minute warning, guys. No, watching Tight Dog Tuesday, 10 Lifestyle Big Drew. Knowledge is power. You know it. Big Irishman for sure. So let's talk about the last one. Last topic of the day was 69-year-old COVID positive patient in Ohio. Had a bout with a 3-hour erection. So when I read this title, I didn't really know what was going to go on in the article. And when I read the rest of the article, it's just crazy. Those titles hook you for sure. So basically what happened was this guy, 69 years old, was in the hospital with COVID. Really, really bad COVID. Now, I was thinking when I read this article, like, this guy was going to be on Viagra or something like that, or something vasodilator. But that wasn't the case. So this guy went into the hospital, had severe illness, respiratory illness, COVID-19 positive. So what they did was they had to put him on a ventilator. So they flipped him over, put him in the prone position. He was on the ventilator. After a couple hours, they turned him back over. And, to the nurse's delight, or not delight, they were, surprised that he had an erection. So he had an erection. So at that point, what they did was, and this is what they do, guys, if you ever get in this situation, you'll know. If you ever take like Viagra, an overdose on Viagra or any vasodilator like that, and it has an erection and it's lasting longer than 4 hours, seek immediate attention immediately. I'm telling you this. Because if you don't, what's going to happen is you're going to possibly cause permanent damage, and that will affect your erections from there on out possibly. So you do not want to get in that situation. So for him, they put ice packs on there, had no effect bringing down the erections. So what do they do next? So next, what they did was they drew blood from his penis, and that's what they do. If they can't get you down with cold ice packs and stuff like that, they will usually bring a big gauge needle and they will draw the blood straight from the penis. I know people have had this done. It's not fun. I don't think they had a good time when they had to go to the hospital. One, it probably wasn't, or was probably an embarrassing situation. And two, probably the not so much comfortable situation when getting that needle stuck in their penis. Because there's nothing you can do. It's erect. And you're like, oh man, and draw that blood. So with this guy had this. They couldn't get it down. They drew blood out. And the bad thing about this guy was he did die from lung failure in the ICU. So it sucks what happened to him. But it was crazy what happened and what can happen with your body because just so many different things happen. But having this was definitely an issue and can be an issue if you misuse some of these different medications. But he did not. He did not use any medications at all. This is just something that happened because of COVID-19 and his body's natural response to it. Really crazy. Hot nurse. Even with a hot nurse, so you already have the erection, right? So I guess you're not embarrassed about that. You already got the erection with a hot nurse. But at that point, they're going to have to stick you with that needle. I don't know how much, is that. Some guys might like that. It might be they might like pain or something like that or abuse. I definitely wouldn't. So not my cup of tea. All right. So we've got how much time left? 6 minutes. All right. Upcoming events. So March 13th, we've got the Skeldon beer launch. We're main sponsors of that. Big shout out to my guy, Jason Skeldon. Now, Jason Skeldon's a guy that does a lot of my different artwork and has through the years. He's a really, really good friend before that. So big shout out to him. He's launching his own beer here in Tampa. So Type Medical is obviously a big supporter of him. So we're going to be out there hanging out, having a good time. Please join us. After that, the next day, it's crazy because I got to go down to Orlando for Festival of Speed to set up. Back to Tampa for the Skeldon beer launch. Back to Orlando that night because the next day we've got Festival of Speed Orlando Ritz-Carlton. It's going to be a great time. We're going to be out there. with everybody, basically, doing our thing, meeting everybody out there, bringing the Titan vehicles. We have the Titan Vet, the Titan Lambos going out there, Titan Limos going out there. So it's going to be awesome. So if you guys are in the area or in Orlando, come check us out. Free giveaways, shirts, tank tops for girls. You can sign up. We might have more things out there as far as special gear. You never know. So it's going to be a heck of an event. After that, March 27th, Florida, Miami, Advice. So this is a big seminar for the NPC, the IBB, being put on by some big people. A lot of big names are going to be there, not just IBB pros. Steve Weinberg is going to be there. Tim Gardner is going to be there. There's going to be a lot of different big people as far as going to that. And Titan Medical Center athletes are going to be in the house. So we have our own exclusive athlete, IBB pro, Rachel Daniels, Miss Lois Lane herself. She'll be there talking at the seminar. I'm also sending Big Drew out there and some of the other crew to talk to people, giveaways, all different types of stuff. So if you're in South Florida, go check out this event. Go up to Big Drew or some of the Titan crew that's out there. Get a t-shirt, tank top, hang out, take some pictures, see what we're all about if you don't know. After that, the next day, you like that, right? March 28th, the Key West Car Show at Forza Tune Clearwater. So Key West moved it, and it's down here in Clearwater, which is great for us because this is a long drive to Key West from where we're at. So it's going to be great. Forza Tune is a high-performance car place out there. I know a couple of my friends actually got their vehicles there right now. It's been there for quite a while, and I know he's getting a little impatient about getting it back. So Forza, hurry up with this car. But it's going to be a great show. April 10th, NPC, Mel Chansey, Champion Muscle Classic. That's here in Tampa, literally right down the street from where our beautiful office is at. So we'll be there in full effect, checking it out. Plus, my girl Rachel Daniels, exclusive Titan athlete, will be doing the guest posing there. So she'll be there for that. We'll be there. It's going to be a heck of a time. After that, May 15th, Tampa Bay Swim Week with Titan Medical Center and Donna Crowley at Lux Fashion and Events. Can't wait to do that one at beautiful water, right on the water. May 15th, so the weather's going to be great here in Florida. I'm looking forward to that one. Plus, Titan Medical Center fashion as far as bathing suits and swimwear will be on display there in the show. So I'm really excited. I'm really excited for that one. New York Pro, May 19th, so the next weekend afterwards. New York Pro is not going to be in New York. It's going to be here in Tampa, Florida, right down the street from the Titan Medical Center offices again. Gotta love this, right? I mean, we must be in a good part of town. We are, thank God. But it's going to be awesome. Plus, for this, we are the exclusive HRT and Medical Weight Loss Center of this event. There will be no other places out there except for Titan Medical Center. So at that point, come out. Our girl, exclusive athlete, Rachel Daniels, will be guest posing for this one. Oh, no, she won't be guest posing for this one. She'll be defending her title from last year. So let's talk about that. So that's going to be awesome. She won this as her first pro show ever. So think about that. You win your pro card, and that's a task in hand. And then your first show is New York Pro. And if anybody knows bodybuilding, they know New York Pro is a really serious show, and a lot of pros want to go and do that show. It's a really popular one. So she won that one last year as a pro, and she's going back to retain that title for sure. I'm looking forward to that one, and we're going to be there. Cannot wait. Deke Warner is afterwards, June 19th. Deke Warner Mid-Florida Classic. That's in Orlando. Really looking forward to that one. That's third year with Deke. Love him, man. Great dude. Great shows all the way around. Very classy, upscale. Looking forward to that one. After that, July 31st, Tampa Bay Jeep Fest. That was a great event last year. Donna Crawley put on. We had a great time out there. Talked to a lot of different people. Met a lot of great different people. And got to interact, man. Give out some good giveaways. T-shirts, tank tops. Again, really, really awesome. So we love getting these community events. So big shout out to Donna Crawley for this one again. All right. We've got 59 seconds. Weekly poll. Do you currently use anything to help boost your immune system? 33% of you said no. 27% said OTC, over-the-counter supplementation. 30% said Titan immune boosting therapies. Good job, guys. And no, what therapies does Titan offer that can help me? 9%. So these are people, right? 33% said no. So you guys are obviously secure with your immune system and stuff like that. Listen, guys, be preventative. Listen, even if you're not really worried about your immune system, let's talk about the the free radicals and stuff like that your body could have and the damage it could cause, or the oxidative stress that your body's intaking or doing. These are different things glutathione can help with. Over-the-counter supplements, listen, nothing can compare to what we have here. Because if you take glutathione orally, it's still going to get broken down the gastro tract. You're not going to absorb as much. It's not going to work as well. So you guys can be getting something a lot better to help you guys out. You guys with 30%, good job. 9% of you guys. So 9% said, no, what therapies do we have here? You guys are getting the newsletter. There was one in there for this week, glutathione. You guys should know one right off the bat. If you have any questions, concerns, you want any of our services, we service nationwide, 727-389-3220. Guys, it's been a great Titan Talk Tuesday. I love you guys. I'll see you Friday with Drew at 2 p.m. Remember, I'll be here every Tuesday, 6 p.m. with you guys, Titan Talk Tuesday. I'm John.